this is Deborah Nelson-Scheimer from Ingredients for a Balanced Life, and today I'm going to teach you about spaghetti squash. Spaghetti squash is an amazing vegetable that you can use instead of pasta. Yes, you heard me. No more need to have those useless white carbs from pasta. You can now substitute it with a vegetable that has the same stringy effect as spaghetti, and I'm going to show you how. This is what it looks like in the store, and all you need to do is cut off the top and then slice it in half and then bake it in the oven. Okay, so I'm going to show you what it looks like from the inside. Okay, so this is what the inside of a spaghetti squash looks like. To cut the spaghetti squash, you will really need a strong knife, but having a strong knife is really key and will help you a lot and make it much easier to cook. And then you just have to scoop out these seeds. Sometimes it's easier just to cut them out, which is what I do some of the time. And then all we're going to do is put these face down in a glass Pyrex dish with a little bit of water and just put it in the oven. Okay, so now you see it's nicely cleaned out. It might look a little stringy, but don't worry about that because it's spaghetti squash and that's sort of the nature of the beast. So I'm going to put it cut side down in a glass Pyrex dish, and I'm just going to put a tiny bit of water in the bottom of the dish, maybe ½ an inch. And then I'm just going to put it in the oven. And I'm going to leave it there for about 40-45 minutes until it's soft. You'll know when it's ready. And I'll be back soon to show you what to do with it next. Spaghetti squash once it's cooked, and all you need to do is kind of thread it through, and you can see the spaghetti-like quality. And I'm going to show you how to make a quick, simple sauce, and then you can put this in just like it's the pasta. Okay, so I'm going to move this over here for now, and I'm just going to put a little bit of olive oil in the bottom of the pan and just let it heat up. And then I'm just going to add, which I've already chopped, a little bit of red onion. And this is how I'm upgrading it, just a plain tomato sauce. You can put any sauce that you want on here, meat sauce, but this is what I like to do. So first of all, I saute the red onion. These are shiitake mushrooms sliced up. Shiitake mushrooms are full of nutrients. In fact, they're the only mushrooms I use because they're full of so much goodness that other mushrooms aren't. So just by changing your mushrooms from a button mushroom to shiitake, you're upgrading your dish a lot. And you might be saying, well, the people in my family aren't going to like this. Well, I've heard no complaints, and I even made shiitake mushrooms in a lasagna for my daughters one day and her friends, and one of her friends could not believe she was eating mushrooms. She said she's never, ever, ever, ever liked them. So always I say, let people try it. Don't make a decision for the people in your family whether they're going to like it or not like it. Okay, so now I've sauteed the onions. I added the shiitake mushrooms, and I added one tiny teaspoon of this minced garlic that I have. You can do your own, but I'm just trying to go for a little bit of ease. And then I'm taking my favorite tomato sauce. I like Rao's, but whatever you want. If you want to make it fresh, that's fine. And I'm just pouring it into the pan along with the shiitake mushrooms and the onion. And I'm just going to let that cook and warm through for a little bit. Okay, so now I like to combine it everything, so I'm putting the spaghetti squash just with a fork. I'm taking it out of the case, and I'm just putting it into my marinara sauce. I just want to let you know that when I took this out of the oven, I did let it cool down a little bit. Otherwise, there's no way I'd be able to hold this in my hand and be able to do it. And then I'm going to kind of mix it in. You can see how it has that pasta sort of look. I have a little more sauce, so I'm going to actually use the other half of the spaghetti squash as well for this. In fact, you can actually rest it on the sides of the pan as like a little shelf. That makes it much easier to scoop. See how easy it comes out of here? This is really low in the glycemic index. So if you have any sugar issues, this is a really great substitution for pasta. I mean, for anyone anyway, but especially if you're suffering from any sugar issues. And if you have any skin conditions, chances are you have sugar issues. Anyway, that's another story. So I'm going to let all of this heat through, and then just before I serve it, I'm going to take some baby spinach and I'm going to let it wilt on top. I'll show you what that looks like in just one moment. Okay, so now this is bubbling away. One thing I forgot to mention is you can just cook the spaghetti squash over the weekend or whenever you have time and scoop it out and leave it in a container and then add the sauce whenever you're ready. I'm just putting some spinach on the top of this to let it wilt in because I kind of like to throw greens into any possible meal that I can. And you can see that you don't even have to cook them separately. They'll just totally wilt into the dish. And by the time you serve it, they will be the perfect consistency. So now you can add cheese to this like you would any pasta dish, grated cheese. And I kind of like goat cheese myself, but you can use any sort of Parmesan or anything like that. This week I'm trying to be dairy free, so there'll be no cheese for me. But that doesn't mean there should be no cheese for you. Anyway, you can just scoop it into a bowl. I've had 4 teenagers eat this and love it. So don't think that people won't like it. And here you are, you have a very healthy dinner dish, very quick to prepare, especially because the oven did all the work. Okay, I hope you enjoyed. I'd love to know your feedbacks. Deborah at ingredientsforabalancedlife.com. To your help.